Good morning. It's a bright sunny day here in Florida, and I'm just kind of planning to do a kind of rear end inspection, rebuild, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna be cleaning the chain, and I think I'm gonna pull the whole swing arm off and replace the swing arm bearings. So that's what's going on today. So I'm gonna clean the chain before I pull the wheel off, and I got my Ketton Max here. It's basically just a two-piece system. You put it on the chain and then you secure it to the chain, and yeah, I'll show it right after it's done. Okay, so I got the Ketton Max secured to the chain, and I used some zip ties around the swing arm there. That's where it went. So kind of hard to catch on the camera. There it is. See? Swing arm. So now the goal is I have a place for the fluid to drain, and the actual way to do this is I'm supposed to, from here, spray fluid in and manually roll the, not that way, manually roll the wheel, see? But, you know, then there's the fun way, which is what I do. Okay, so with the Ketton Max secured, you can see I've got this long straw here. I got it running into here. So what's gonna happen is I'll be sitting on the bike and I'm gonna throw it into first, and I'll be feeding it the chain cleaner while I'm just sitting on the bike. I think that's good for now. Ain't that a lot easier? So you see what I was doing? I was just feeding this chain cleaner into the little straw here, and that's all the gunk. I'm gonna actually clean this off and then I'll run it a little bit more. So, but you get the idea now. So I'm about to pull this back wheel off, and I'm just gonna be undoing the axle bolt. You can use a 3/4 inch or a 19mm socket, and I got some cheater pipes with me because my hands hurt enough as it is. So that's just the way it's gonna go. Easy. So to get the axle bolt off, what I find kind of helps is to kind of get my feet under here, right? And what I'll do is I'll try to like lift up and take tension off the wheel as I'm pushing this out. So see, it comes out that way, so you got to kind of try to take tension off of it. See how it's moving and stuff? So we'll see if it wants to be easy today or not. Now see, sometimes you can kind of pull on it, work it out this way, and then sometimes it don't want to do that. But since it's doing it, I'm pulling it. There we go. Perfect. Now it's very important, once you get this off, there's a spacer. It's for the passenger side. That's what I refer to it as. And then there's another spacer on this side, the driver's side. See this? That spacer on that side. I did forget something. Forgot two things actually. That's okay. We can address it. So the wheel is off, but I forgot about the the little brake stopper, and then the actual rear brake itself. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You can loosen this up and just leave it on there. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I don't want to unmount it from the top there because I'll lose track of where it needs to go. But see down here, you know what I can do? So I'm pretty happy with where the brake is set. I don't want to deviate from that, so I'm going to use this little digital caliper and see. Can I just do it that way? Yeah. Just about where the brake is set here. Perfect. So we have this at 22.6. I'm gonna take a double measurement, see if I get the same thing. .6. Yep, so that's where we're gonna set this. And to get this off, we're gonna have to undo this bolt here, and it actually helps to just kind of hold the brake forward, but you don't have to. All right. So now what we're gonna have to do is remove this cotter pin and back this out. So go ahead and see what I can dig up. So I got the cotter pin off. I just cut it off, and now I'll use the 14mm socket I have here, and we'll back this out, and then the wheel will be free. Okay, so I got that bolt out. So now with a little wiggling and finesse, I should be able to get this rear wheel off. So I gotta kind of pull the little brake stopper off, and I'll have to pull the wheel back. Well, or, you know, just pull that in that way. See, I've already lost the bolt that goes to that because I'm silly. No, we'll kind of just put this back on there so the stuff doesn't fall out. The chain's off, got the chain off. Now the wheel is free. I just got to be careful of this little bumper I have. I should have taken that off. All right, we got the wheel is free. Cool. Cool. So part of the reason I'm pulling this off, look how dirty this is. I'm just gonna re-clean everything here, you know? Clean everything up. Ugh. Get this kind of out of the way. There it is, wheels off. So I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of one by one, let's grab that little adjuster here. See, I kind of just put everything here. I think as I go, I'm gonna clean this stuff up. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna clean up the back of the swing arm here, and I'll just kind of, I'll probably take the chain guard off, get it out of the way. So for right now, I'll pause and I'm gonna clean all this up. So I'm cleaning this rear wheel right now. The brake looks pretty gross, so I think I'm gonna take this apart and just clean it up, but there's plenty of material on the pads. So I got the brake cleaned up. I gotta put a cotter pin back in here. I got these Kawasaki cotter pins. I don't even know where this came from, but is it like cheating on my bike to put this on? So I'm about at the point that I think we're gonna remove the swing arm. And I don't really see videos covering this, so starting here, we got the rear wheel off, the drive chain covers off. So we remove the lower shock absorbing mounts, which will be those on both sides. Remove the swing arm pivot bolt and the swing arm. And that's just this. So I guess we're gonna see what happens. So the nut on this side of the swing arm is a 22mm. I don't think I've ever seen a fitting with a 22. Okay, so I got my 22 on this side. I got my 17 here, and I'm just gonna see what I can do to bust them loose. So I got it to start turning, but these are tight enough that I needed to put a cheater pipe on both of these. Okay, so here on this side, just remember there's a nut and a washer. Okay, so what I'm finding is with my hammer, the bolt is tapping through fairly easily. So I'm gonna just do this. Now over here, my shifter there is in the way. So I'll have to kind of lower it. And then once this gets inside, I'll have to find something, you know, socket or something to help push it the rest of the way through. I wonder if from this side I can pull it a little bit. Yeah, oh, yeah. All I did was pull up a bit on the swing arm. So it should just kind of drop, right? Yeah, it's dropping. I gotta kind of wiggle it a bit. Man, I should have took these stoppers off, but oh well, hindsight, right? Get the chain kind of out of the way if I can. Oh, I see. There's okay. On the right side there is a little hose from the air box that's getting in the way, I think. Yeah. Oh. There we go. I got shit falling apart. So here's the swing arm. You see the Zerk fittings here. There's these little caps, right? And then inside is the swing arm bearings, which I think you need a tool to get them out, which I do have, I think. So what I'm gonna actually do first is clean this up. Just degrease, clean it up. Like I said, I'm cleaning everything as I'm going. See, all this stuff's clean, and just clean it as I go. Okay, so I got the swing arm as cleaned up as I think I'm gonna get it. You know, look, it's rusted and parts where the paint is coming off, so my goal was just to get the dirt off of it. So I got these Zerk fittings out of here. I had to use an adjustable wrench to do it. These are like a really weird Japanese size that apparently it's hard to get a grease gun on, so I might go to Ace Hardware and see if I can find some replacements, because I also need some other hardware, so maybe just take a trip and get it all at once. Okay, so this bearing actually pushed right out. This one, it doesn't. So I'm gonna see something real quick. Okay, so I don't know why. This one actually came right out, like with my fingers. This one doesn't want to come out, so I'm using the bearing driver tool with the hammer. Yeah, it's so weird. So they're out. The one that I struggled to get out over here fits right in over there, so maybe there's just gunk and stuff in there. So all I did was bearing driver and hammer. Okay, so this is the new bearing. You can see the part number there if you want to look it up, or whatever you want to call it. I'm just calling it the bearing. Now there are caps here. Here's the part number for the caps, and I'll open one up so you can see. So see, this cap is sitting in there like that. So, gotta figure out how to get those out. Okay, so it's kind of hard to get the bushings out. So what I'm doing is, again, the bearing driving tool. I'm making sure it's at an angle that it grabs, and then I'm using the hammer, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm here. I've got the holes all cleaned out, including the Zerk holes. So now the lubricant I use is this marine grease by Lucas, and you can see it's rated for automotive bearings and chassis. This is what I actually have in my wheel bearings and stuff, but you have to remove every single drop of the regular lithium grease because they aren't compatible. It'll get messed up. So you got to remove every drop. So now we look at this. Grease everything on reinstall. So I'm gonna just slather everything in grease. So I got the new bushings into place. You can see I was a little liberal with the grease, but I would much rather that than, you know, not enough. So I'm gonna use, this socket is the outside diameter of this one. Okay, I was having a hard time getting the bushings in, so this is the Ghetto bushing driver. It's a long, threaded, I guess, the Ghetto bushing driver. So now I'll just repeat on that side. I'm gonna make sure, repack everything. Tons and tons of grease. Okay, so both of the Zerks are the same part number. Unfortunately, for some reason, I could only find one of them that I had, so I'll temporarily reinstall one of the old ones and just replace it when I can. Okay, so we got everything put together. As you can see, I did not spare any expense on the lubrication. So now it's just going to be putting the big bolt back through it. Okay, so don't forget you have this washer here on the end. I'm going to put some more lubrication on this, and we're going to see if I can get this thing up. Okay, so you might want to have a friend help you get the swing arm up into place. That was a fucking nightmare, man. So the torque spec is 40 to 51 foot-pounds. So I just have this set to 50. Oh my goodness, I crashed so hard yesterday. It just had to stay on the center stand. So I'm gonna put this back on the rear wheel, and I'm not gonna do too much else to it because my arms are sunburned and I'm so sore from yesterday. So just remember, this little spacer goes in here. That little spacer goes in there. And this spacer just goes on the inside of the other side like that. And as the axle nut goes through, or the bolt goes through, remember you got to put the adjusters on. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, for chain adjustment, you're supposed to do it while it's on the center stand, and you want 5/8 inch to 1 inch of slack. I recommend doing 1 inch because one of my old chains snapped, but it could have just been because it was old. I think it was the original one. So loosen lock nuts on both adjusting bolts, and basically it's a game of adjusting these and this bolt here in such a way that you have about 1 inch of slack on the chain, and that these markings are approximately lined up. It's not a perfect alignment even if you get the markings correct, but for right now, because I'm exhausted and I just want this thing together, I'm gonna do it that way. So I think I have this about where I want it now. So that is at, yeah, like just before 2.5 notches on this side. Move over to the other side. This one is also at just before 2.5. My camera doesn't want to pick it up. The notch is right there. It's just before 2.5. I tightened the axle down. Now see, I'm choosing this rivet here. I give it a little downward force. It's about at 2. And then I move it up. It's a little more than 1, I would say. So, see, it's at 2. About the center of that rivet is at 2. And it's more than 1 for sure. See, it's a little more than 1, 2. A little more than 1. So we've got right at 1 inch or a little more of slack. Okay, so the torque spec for this is 51 to 72 foot-pounds. And I just set mine to like 65. So getting the chain guard back on was a pain in the ass, but what helped is I undid the shock bolt. So I got to get that back into place now.